So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of the day, and I would like to try at least to summarize what we heard today. The conversations we had during this day confirm that we at Better Finance, we are going in the right direction, and we always believe that building a savings and investment union is not just a matter of economic strategy, but it is about empowering European citizens to become active participants in the future of our continent. We opened this morning with a strong message from Ola Maczynska, our managing director, setting the tone with a focus on boosting retail investor participation and delivering value for money. And indeed, throughout this whole day, our panels and keynotes have explored how we can turn these guiding principles into concrete policies and practices. Commissioner Maria Luisa Albuquerque reminded us of the progress under the Retail Investment Strategy, RIS, and the European Commission's commitment to fair, transparent, and accessible investment opportunities. IRS is an ambitious reform package that aligns closely with our long-standing advocacy for bias-free investment advice, stronger product governance, and enhanced information disclosure. But as we have highlighted today, we must go further to meet the expectations of Europe's retail investors and savers. In our first panel this morning, we heard a diverse range of perspective covering different ways to enhance retail participation in the EU financial markets. We talked about removing digital barriers, building trust, engage new generations of investors. We agreed that the future of the EU capital markets depends mainly on the retail investor participation. We at Better Finance believe that simplicity, transparency, and fairness are not only an option, they are essential building blocks of a trustworthy investment environment. Member of the Parliament, Eero Ainal-Noma, keynote brought us to the heart of a long-standing concern, ensuring that financial products truly deliver value for money. This principle must become a benchmark and should not only stay a slogan. Too many products still today erode long-term returns through excessive fees, and too many investors are still left out without the tools that they need to assess whether a product is really the right one for them. That is why we, as Better Finance, advocate for binding cost and performance benchmarks and a rigorous best of interest of the client standard for all financial advice. This last panel, Karel, under your moderation, helped us to explore practical solutions from refining regulatory definitions to aligning supervisory practices and to foster competition and innovation that will benefit the end users. We welcome the contributions of ESMA, EIOPA, and the others in shaping a more coherent and accountable framework across sectors. Better Finance strongly supports the strategic shift we just noticed, but we also call for greater safeguards for individual investors. Product simplicity must not come at the expense of investor protection. I think this is something we should not forget. Let me briefly highlight some of the key priorities of Better Finance that should guide the path forward. This is based on our position papers, consultations, and the feedback of you today. We see a need for the creation of a simple, low-cost, pan-European investment savings account modeled on best practices such as Sweden's ISK that we discussed today. We also see room for a reform of the PRIPS key information document to include past performance data, real costs, and meaningful risk warnings, but thereby keep it short and simple. We also ask for greater supervisory convergence covering both MiFID and IDD products, including insurance-based investments. And finally, we need effective enforcement of value for money standards with ESMA and EIOPA playing a central role in the benchmark setting. As stated in our press release just last week, we welcome the Commission's progress on the SIU and the inclusion of several of our key recommendations, such as the 28th legal regime for corporate and securities law and the support for simple and transparent savings products. However, as we have heard today, we must remain vigilant. The EU cannot afford to lose this momentum or to dilute the ambition of these reforms in political negotiations. And let us remember, retail investors are not a footnote, they are the foundation of the SIU. Therefore, let me close with a call to action. We have a unique window to shape a truly inclusive, efficient, and citizen-focused financial future for Europe. Let us seize it together. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you and say thank you, first of all, to all speakers and panelists for their valuable contributions. Let us say thank you to the sponsors who made this event possible. And finally, a thank you to Better Finance and its team under the lead of Ola Maczynska. And last but not least, a final thank you to you, the audience, for your lively contributions. I can only say it was a very interesting conference day. I wish you a wonderful way home and a great weekend. Thank you.